here comes Success Coach Andy, the most beneficial advice program on the radio. For the next hour, you'll learn about success and happiness and how to take control of your life. And now, here's Success Coach Andy Shepherd.
This is Success Coach Andy. I'm Andy Shepherd of Shepherd Success Coaching, here with you every Monday at 9 p.m. on Independent Talk 1100 KFNX. For many people, there are areas in their lives that are dreadful or even dire. This show changes all of that. This show is all about transforming your life into the one you always wanted and shrugging away what you don't want. Be sure to listen in every week and tell your friends about it. The other day, someone said to me, Andy, you're the Sherlock Holmes of solving problems that other solutions can't solve, that are unsolvable, and that leave people stranded in the dark. And I'm not joking. Literally, somebody said this to me, a close friend of mine. I was quite chuffed, as we say in England. It means I was very pleased. I'm British, as you can probably tell by my accent. Well, it's true. I have helped countless people with unsolved personal problems and mysteries. I've succeeded where all others had literally failed. Once on the trail, there is no stopping me. Later in tonight's show, I'll give you details on how I can free you from your Moriarty of a problem in a free 30-minute session. More on that later, so stay tuned. I'm in the process of writing a book I believe will become a #1 New York Times bestseller. The book is taking the work of The Secret to a level that can be believable and can truly be harnessed in its power for everybody. So, I don't know if anybody saw The Secret, the film, or read it. You get limited success with it. I found that there are certain bits of it that have been missing, and I'm going to put that in. And also, as my coaching, I'm going to be putting in, a few things that are going to kind of remove any blocks and self-doubts as to being successful, because that is one of the things that I find as a coach. So as I'm doing some research for the book and I'm starting to develop it, one of the things that I wanted was like an example of a desirable male or desirable female. Well, the female side was really easy. I thought of Jennifer Lopez straight away. But as I'm a heterosexual, I got no idea what kind of guy a woman would find attractive. So I basically went into Cosmo online and I found out that it's Adam Levine. And I thought, really? I was pretty surprised about this. So, Adam, if you happen to be listening, I'm not saying anything bad. It's just a surprise because, I hear about women talking all the time about who they find attractive. So on Facebook, I put on my wall that I wanted to know. And, to my surprise, I was right. The old tried and tested favorites are still there, like George Clooney and Sean Connery. So, sadly, my name wasn't on the list, by the way. But, okay, I'm just joking. So, what I found and what I could really come to a conclusion was that media is working all the time on influencing us. So what I want you to think about, and the conclusion that I'd like to get from this is, what other areas are you being influenced? We've got this subtle influence all the time from people around us, from the media and so on, from films. We think about romance as being one thing because of whatever the films are. So, as I'm always saying, I'd like you to think about the 5-person rule, which is basically we are the average of the 5 people we spend most of our time about. Something to think about. Any thoughts on this? Drop me a line. I'm here to talk to you. I'd love to know your thoughts. Talk to me on andy@successcoachandy.com. So tonight, what am I talking about? I'm talking about how to let go. Well, yeah, I'm not talking about your kind of like hanging off a cliff like on one of these blockbusting Hollywood films and, you don't want to let go and there's this big canyon below us. I'm talking about letting go of other things. So letting go of relationships and letting go of physical things as well. I'm a success coach who's had the privilege of successfully helping hundreds of people from all stages of life. And this really fires me up. What I'd really like for you is for you to wake up in the morning and leap out of bed and say, yes, let me at it. And this radio show is all about getting to success quickly. We've got this magnificent piece of technology which is called our mind. And with this, we can do brilliant things. And also, if we've not got it trained in the right way, we can do terrible things. So please listen to me every Monday at 9 p.m. and I'll give you the tools which are going to transform all of that. If you've just tuned in, you're listening to Success Coach Andy. I'm Andy Shepherd on Independent Talk 1100 KFNX. People call me the Sherlock Holmes of success coaching. Let me hot on the trail of your Moriarty of all problems, past or present, and free yourself from its peskiness forever. It will amaze you on how much I can track down in a free 30-minute session. That's right, especially for listeners on Independent Talk 1100 KFNX, I'm giving away a 30-minute session for free. Call me on 310-774-6691. That's 310-774-6691. Or email me on andy@successcoachandy.com. That's andy@successcoachandy.com, and book your free investigation today. So we're talking about how to let go. Before I start, I'd like to share something with you. I once saw a little boy who was given a present. I think it was for Christmas. I can't remember now. It was either Christmas or maybe it was for his birthday. And he was pretty happy with this present that he'd been given. And he was really, really joyful about it. But basically, the parents had given him, they got him another present. They got him an even bigger and better present. But he didn't want to let go of this new magical thing that he got. And whatever they did, they just tried and said, look, no, Johnny, there's this other present. You're going to love it. Let go of that one and put it down and start having it and have a look at this. And he wouldn't. So, they got pretty frustrated about this. So I'd like you to think about this. Do you think that maybe you're doing something similar? What I want you to do is, at the end of the show or tomorrow, I'd like you to get a friend or somebody close to you to pile as many, preferably non-breakable things as you can into your arms, okay? So I want you to try then to use these objects and to enjoy them. And I'd like you to try walking around with them. I'd like you to realize how crazy this is about what you're doing. Now, what I'd like you to do is to then put everything down. And out of that, I'd like you to just get one favorite object and just really focus and concentrate on that and get the most out of it. And what I'm getting from this is that there is an importance to letting go of things. When I was in Brazil, I had an English school out there, and one of my staff told me the benefits of emptying cupboards. And that basically, by throwing away or anything that's unwanted, you kind of leave a vacuum for other things in its place, and you will start attracting something else, so you'll get something new. So, we've got no excuse if you want to give things away. We can do them, we can sell them on eBay and Amazon or whatever. So we're going to be discussing a little bit more about that a little bit later. People call me the Sherlock Holmes of success coaching. Let me hot on the trail of your Moriarty of all problems, past or present, and free yourself from its peskiness forever. It will amaze you on how much I can track down in a free 30-minute session. That's right, especially for listeners on Independent Talk 1100 KFNX, I'm giving away a 30-minute session for free. Call me on 310-774-6691. That's 310-774-6691. Or email me on andy@successcoachandy.com. That's andy@successcoachandy.com, and book your free investigation today.
America is truly exceptional, and she deserves to be defended in the face of a rogue and runaway government. As respecters of freedom, we must commit to raising the banner of freedom for all to see. Hi, this is Shane Krauser, the director of the American Academy for Constitutional Education. Inspire your group and give them the tools and education to move this message forward. Schedule us to speak at your next event by visiting us at aafce.com. America's best days are yet to come. That's aafce.com.
Are you experiencing frustration or desperation and you don't know the way out? There is a solution. There is light beyond the tunnel. Start to live life on your terms, the way you've always wanted. Visit SuccessCoachAndy.com. SuccessCoachAndy.com. Change can happen in an instant. To learn more about Andy's seminars or for opportunities to have him as your personal coach, call 310-774-6691. That's 310-774-6691.
I'm Diane Douglas. I'm the only pro-life, pro-family conservative Republican running for Superintendent of Public Instruction who is opposed to the federal Common Core standards. This unconstitutional mandate is the Obama administration's plan to control our schools and send your child's private data to Washington, D.C. I'm Diane Douglas, and I'm asking for your vote to stop Common Core in Arizona.
Paid for by Elect Diane Douglas Primary.
Your Financial Plan with Wayne Candace every Tuesday at noon. Wayne Candace is best known as the Bugle Boy who serenades his audience and provides informative strategies for retirement and financial goal planning. Your Financial Plan every Tuesday at noon.
You see, this is a radio talk show. This is not the news. If you want the news, I don't even know where to tell you to go because there is no news. CNN is not the news. MSNBC is not the news. NBC, ABC, CBS, they all are biased. The only difference between Michael Savage and them is I tell you what I think. I don't try to make believe I'm neutral. I am not neutral. I am not neutral. I am not neutral.
The Savage Nation. Independent talk. 1100 KFNX.
What will you do when your stored supplies run out? Are you prepared? Hostile Hair provides equipment and education you need to control your own infinite food supply. We have live food storage systems for rabbits, quail, and other urban livestock for any situation and strategy. Don't be limited by what's on the shelves. Get started with an infinite food source today. Get prepped, stay fed with Hostile Hair. Call 480-331-3761, 480-331-3761, or visit hostilehair.com.
Hi, this is Connie Salica. Tune into my show, Intelligence for Your Health, right here on Independent Talk. 1100 KFNX, Sundays at 10 p.m.
Hey now, you're an all-star. Get your game on, go play. Hey now, you're a rock star. Get the show on, get paid.
Welcome back to Success Coach Andy. I'm Andy Shepherd of Shepherd Success Coaching, here with you every Monday at 9 p.m. on Independent Talk, 1100 KFNX. Tonight I'm talking about how to let go. So when I'm saying how to let go, I'm not talking about some cliffhanger of a Hollywood where you're basically, kind of dangling there and you've got this massive drop below you. Though life sometimes can feel like that. What I'm talking about is letting go of objects, and sometimes we need to let go of relationships as well. So if we want to have, if we're not happy with the relationship we're in, then sometimes we need to let go of it to get the relationship that we do want and that we do deserve. Because, there do exist relationships which are basically pretty destructive, and they can be really draining on our time and on our energy. Relationships like this are, in a relationship, basically we have to own up to our own problems, don't we? And when the other person that we love is not doing that and is, kind of feeding that all onto us, that's really not doing anybody any good. In England we have a saying, we say that it's not big and it's not clever. So if you're in a situation like that, then, there may be a point where you need to, finish a relationship so that you have kind of a space so that the person that you do want can come into it. I'm not saying that it's impossible to change partners if you're in a relationship, but it's certainly messy. The chances of it blowing up in your face are pretty high, or it being a really bad situation. So it's not recommendable, is it? Also, if you are in a relationship and you're trying to attract somebody else, then the other person is going to know about it. We're sending all the time invisible signals to each other, aren't we? I mean, we know this by body language. There's the science of body language now. I mean, even the FBI and, people like this are using it. So, it must work. Otherwise, why would they bother? For me, I think there's a little bit more than just a physical explanation. I believe that, I mention from show to show that I believe that we're kind of like energy beings, and it was energy we're transmitting all the time. Einstein said E equals mc squared. He showed that there's a relationship between energy and matter. We are all, we think that we're physical, but what are we? We're just a whole load of electrons and protons and neutrons and all the rest of it. And basically that is an explanation of energy. So maybe our thoughts are kind of an energy form, and maybe the other person is picking it up, and it's not just telepathy. There's a lot goes on in our subconscious that we really don't know about. So let's look at why is it that it's difficult for us to let go of things. Well, this could be down to our conditioning. It could be down to our upbringing. Could be down to a whole bunch of stuff like that. Sometimes we don't want to move on. Sometimes it's really difficult. And the reason for this is we don't like change. There's something that Tony Robbins talks about 6 human needs. And if one of your top human needs is that you need security, then you won't want change at all. And that could equate to a relationship, that you're not going to move in a relationship. And sometimes we feel safe with what we have. We feel safe in a relationship. It feels comfortable. Often when something is familiar, even if it's unpleasant, we have this tendency to not move, and we feel more pain as we try something new. We worry about a feeling of loss. So I recommend that we listen to somebody like Jack Canfield. One of his mantras, if you like, is, "Oh, what the heck, go for it anyway." So, this is great, but, there's a word of warning here, because, sometimes we need to listen to our intuition. Our intuition tells us that, we don't need to go for it. We'll be getting a bad feeling about anything, because this phrase from Jack Canfield you can put onto anything. Oh, what the heck, go for it anyway. But sometimes if we're getting a bad feeling, it could be because of our resistance to change, but also it could be our subconscious mind telling us that this is not a good idea. So I know that's kind of confusing, but, that's just something that with time you'll get to know how it works. And remember that, sometimes there's a thing called failing forward, and that is that, if you've got a plane that's going from LA to London, most of the time it's basically off course. But because of the wind, about 90% it's off course. But the pilot keeps course correcting, and eventually you get there. The pilot doesn't see that there's any failure. It's just part of the process. If you've just tuned in, you're listening to Success Coach Andy. I'm Andy Shepherd on Independent Talk 1100 KFNX. People call me the Sherlock Holmes of success coaching. Let me hot on the trail of your Moriarty of all problems, past or present, and free yourself from its peskiness forever. It will amaze you on how much I can track down in a free 30-minute session. That's right, especially for listeners on Independent Talk 1100 KFNX. I'm giving away a 30-minute session for free. Call me on 310-774-6691. That's 310-774-6691. 6691, or email me on andy@successcoachandy.com. That's andy@successcoachandy.com, and book your free investigation today. So let's carry on talking about how to let go. One of the most difficult things to let go of is resentment. So, firstly, let's look at why we have resentment. Perhaps it's because there are people that we feel have wronged us. You know, somebody's mistreated us, ripped us off, stolen something, been unfaithful, betrayed us, or said hurtful things, or perhaps said untrue things about us, and so on. So this happens to all of us. Unfortunately, it is a normal part of everyone's life. So here are the first 3 of the 6 steps of letting go of resentment. So the first step is try not to do or say anything immediately. So when it's happened, don't fire off. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to have a hot head, and we're going to say things that we're going to regret, and it's really not going to do anybody any good. I really strongly recommend reading a book which is pretty old now, but it's an absolute classic and a gem, and I recommend reading it, How to Win Friends and Influence Them by Dale Carnegie. Has anybody out there read it? Well, if you have, I would suggest that you go read it again. I think it's something that you could quite easily read every 6 months, and you'll get something new out of it. Another thing that I'd recommend is that you breathe. Okay? People say deep breath with whatever situation, but it's correct. As you're breathing and taking deep breaths in and concentrate on the breathing, it will really calm you down, and the oxygen is a great help to you as well. Also, think of as many contrary things to the bad one as you can. Think of a minimum of 3 or 4. So if somebody's always late, think, well, maybe they missed the bus to get here, maybe they're ill, maybe they need to get some medicine for a loved one, something like that. Also, step 3 is try to think of any hidden benefits, because, you know, there's always a way of turning the bad into the good. W. Clement Stone always used to go, that's great at any situation, good or bad. If you take that one thing away with you tonight, I promise you that will be a real life changer. This one thing from W. Clement Stone has really been most helpful to me. I'll give you a few examples. So, imagine you've got a situation where you break up with your girlfriend. Well, what's the positive you could get out of that? You could go, great, now I've got time to go and start writing my book. Or your car breaks down. Great, now I can get some exercise and walk to work. Okay, these are pretty extreme examples, but I think you get the picture. I'm Andy Shepherd of Shepherd Success Coaching. When we return, I'll tell you about the final 3 steps of the 6 steps of letting go of resentment. You're tuned into Success Coach Andy on Independent Talk 1100 KFNX.
This is the Blaze Radio News. I'm Greg Moore. The Israeli government accepting an Egyptian ceasefire deal, which will hopefully bring the month-long war against Hamas terrorists in Gaza to a close. The 72-hour truce beginning this morning, and an Israeli delegation will head to Egypt shortly for talks aimed at a long-term peace proposal. Palestinian authorities already accepting the Egyptian peace plan. Former White House Press Secretary James Brady has died. Brady was shot in the assassination attempt against President Ronald Reagan. The Blaze Radio's Brad James with the story.
James Brady permanently disabled after being shot in the head in March of 1981 by John Hinckley Jr. Brady then fighting for gun control and lobbied for stricter handgun and assault weapons laws. A federal law requiring a background check on handgun buyers bears Brady's name. Brady was 73.
While all eyes are on the fighting in Israel, the ISIS terrorist group taking over 2 more towns in Iraq. The Blaze Radio's John DeMaster reports.
The Islamic State this emerging caliphate is slaughtering not just captive soldiers and Kurds, Kurdish Peshmerga, their militia, they're slaughtering innocent people.
Retired Lieutenant Colonel Ralph Peters on Fox News saying cuts to the military not helping.
Our army is soon going to be so small, it will not be able to accomplish one basic war, let alone multiple contingencies. The military is ultimately about people. We've got the best trained, experienced veterans in our history. We're getting rid of them to buy junk. Congress and the president should all be ashamed.
The company SpaceX planning to build the world's first commercial site for orbital rocket launches in the southernmost part of Texas. The state's kicking in more than $15 million in incentives. SpaceX says it plans to launch 12 rockets a year. This is news on the Blaze Radio Network. Truth lives here.
Hi, everybody. Chet Reynolds from the KFNX Weather Center. With dry conditions staying in the valley, expect more of the same throughout the week. Tonight, clear skies with a low of 81. For Tuesday, sunny skies and a high of 105. Chet Reynolds, Independent Talk, 1100 KFNX.
Currently, in downtown Phoenix, it's 97 degrees.
Next news in 30 minutes or when it breaks. Here on Independent Talk, 1100 KFNX.
Here's what Sandy Barrett, a realtor here in the Valley of the Sun for 32 years, had to say about Jack the Roofer.
You know what? He is the only call I make when I have a roof issue. I've been a realtor for 32 years. He is on time. He is clean. He is precise. He's always prepared. I've known him about 20 years. He's the best. Never met anybody that's more on their game and more willing to be of service. Because, you know, anybody can get anything done anywhere, but when somebody's willing to go the extra mile, and I've seen him do it time and again, he's just the best. I love him as a human being and as a roofer. He's just great. If somebody else tells you need this, that, and the other thing, and he can do it a different way and have it be more economical, he will for you.
Get your roof fixed right the first time and get it fixed before monsoon season. Call Jack the Roofer, 602-996-7443. That's 602-996-7443.
Westbrook's Law Firm, 602-262-HELP.
The Westbrook's Law Firm is a full-service firm handling all types of cases. Westbrook's Law Firm has aggressive, high-powered trial lawyers who will fight hard for you. Call now for a free consultation on your serious accident or injury case, wrongful death claim, medical malpractice, DUI, sexual harassment, and for sports and entertainment law representation. Call now. That's Westbrook's Law Firm, your full-service firm.
Westbrook's Law Firm, 602-262-HELP.
Earn $2,000 to $3,000 per month part-time in a home-based business with a purpose. Earn as much as $8,000 to $10,000 per month full-time as a marketing rep for a new line of products to be released by a billion-dollar company. That's right, we are partnering with a billion-dollar company in an industry that is set to explode in the next 2 years. To get started, text the word PURPOSE to 88202. Earn $2,000 to $3,000 per month part-time and $8,000 to $10,000 per month full-time. Text PURPOSE to 88202.
You'll feel psyched up, tuned in, turned on, and mega-wired for sound. What? Yeah, tune in to Healthy House Calls. We discuss the secrets to wellness, longevity, and abundant energy. Tune in Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. as we broadcast live and direct from Healthy Habit Health Food Store.
Hi, Rick and Dave here.
The Elton Brothers on KFNX.
Have you ever pulled in front of a listing, can't get a hold of anyone, and just wanted more info and photos?
That's so annoying.
Well, we have an app for you.
Simply text Elton to 32323.
It's completely free and downloads right to your mobile device.
So any real estate sign across the valley.
Text Elton to 32323 and get all the MLS info right to your phone.
Immediately.
The Elton Brothers, Realty One Group, putting real estate in the palm of your hand.
Hey, it's John Tesh, and you're tuned into the 50,000-watt powerhouse, Independent Talk, 1100 KFNX. Listen to me Saturdays at 10 p.m. or online at 1100KFNX.com.
It's my
I'm Andy Shepherd of Shepherd Success Coaching. Here with you every Monday at 9 p.m. on Independent Talk 1100 KFNX. Welcome back. Tonight I'm talking about how to let go. So I've been talking about the 6 steps of letting go of resentment. So these are the final 3 steps. The final 3 steps are, if you can't transform it and you must act and do something, do it in a way that is without conflict. I don't have too much time today to go into detail, so what I recommend that you do is either get in contact with me or read the book How to Win Friends and Influence People, because there's lots of great insight there. There's basically a better way of saying things to people. We all know that. We can say things to people in a way that are going to antagonize them. And, we may feel as if that's justified. But basically, I'm always about thinking of the end result, about the goal that I want. I'm goal-orientated. So, you need to think about it. If your goal is to antagonize the person, then great, go ahead and antagonize them. I really don't recommend that. Ultimately, this is just a short-term pleasure, which is very negative and is not going to get you anywhere. As we say in the UK, it's not big and it's not clever. So I would not do that. And you may feel that the person doesn't deserve for you to be nice to them and treat them in a good way. But at the end of the day, you're going to get the results that you want if you are communicating with them in a non-confrontational way. Am I right or am I right? So, again, have a look at the book, How to Win Friends and Influence People. The 5th step is that if you can't get resolution from it, or there's just no way of resolving a situation with a person and they're just going to keep fighting with you no matter what, you need to save yourself stress by working on letting go. There's no other possibility. So why do we feel the hurt feelings? I'm going to tell you the reason why, and basically this could be a little bit tough medicine for some of you, so I do apologize, but I just want to help you at the end of the day. So I'm going to pull the Band-Aid off really quick, and it may smart a little. Okay, you ready? So the reason we feel this is because of our ego. That's the part that is upset. So, I did a lot of Buddhist meditation for many years, and one meditation that I did was concentrating on the ego. I'm going to give you the meditation really, really quickly. We called it Discovering the I. The way that I did it was, well, for me, I needed to get into a position where I'm feeling this sense of I. I'm pretty scared of heights, so what I did was I imagined that I'm on this precipice looking down and there's like 1,000, 2,000 foot drop, and I'm feeling this real sense of I. So what I did was I looked at where this I was. So I imagined if I removed my head, is it in my head? No. Is it in my left arm if I removed it? No. In my right? Is it in my right arm if I moved it? No, it isn't. So what I did then was to think, well, if I remove my left leg, is it there? And if I remove my right leg, is that where it is? No, it isn't. So if I remove the trunk, is it there? No, it isn't. I discovered that the I basically didn't exist. It was separate from my body, and this was a big movement forward for me. The 6th step is to celebrate. You need to pat yourself on the back for your positive action of letting go of resentment. So those are the 6 steps. If you've just tuned in, you're listening to Success Coach Andy. I'm Andy Shepherd on Independent Talk 1100 KFNX. People call me the Sherlock Holmes of success coaching. Set me hot on the trail of your Moriarty of all problems, past or present, and free yourself from its peskiness forever. It will amaze you on how much I can track down in a free 30-minute session. That's right, especially for listeners on Independent Talk 1100 KFNX. I'm giving away a 30-minute session for free. Call me on 310-774-6691. That's 310-774-6691. Or email me on andy@successcoachandy.com. That's andy@successcoachandy.com, and book your free investigation today. Okay, so we're talking about how to let go. What I want to talk about now are the 6 benefits of letting go. If you contemplate these benefits, I'm hopeful that you have the desire to do that. Make sense? So the first one is, if you let go, you're going to reduce your stress, because it's very stressful not letting go of things. And think about the amount of money just by letting go of stress. If you've got reduced stress, I mean, a lot of people, let's face it, you know, people say that they enjoy drinking alcohol, but really, for many people, it's actually to relax. It's to get rid of their stress. They need to let go of the day. And we do this in lots of ways. We use, comforters like eating or, smoking or things like this. So think of the amount of money you'll save by reducing your stress. But the great thing is, from less stress, we have less chance of serious disease. So that's got to be a good thing. We all know that disease comes, a big factor of any disease is down to our stress level. And a doctor will often now send people to go and do stuff like yoga and meditation just to remove their stress. So that's another good reason, in my mind, of letting go. What do you think? You'll also be happier if you let go of things, and that's got to be good. We all want to be happy. I mean, that's got to be the number one thing, to be happy. People will like you more because of your cheerful demeanor. So you're going to get more friends, which has got to be pretty cool. So by going through this 6-step process of letting go of resentment or letting go of whatever, you may just repair a good relationship or a good business relationship, which may also benefit you. I mean, if you're resenting your friends, you've got resentment in friendships or with a coworker, it's going to cause a lot of friction. And, sometimes I think now it's just not worth it. If a lot of times I need to understand why a person did something. If a person mistreats me, they've got a good reason for it. They're perhaps having a bad day or something really terrible is happening. The next is that you're going to produce a vacuum where you can attract things in its place. So, by clearing away cupboards and things like this, or throwing away your old clothes, then it's magic. You get like a kind of a space where you will start attracting new things. And like I talked about, in a relationship as well, you could get a new relationship. I'm Andy Shepherd of Shepherd Success Coaching. When I return, I'm going to talk about the 7 reasons of why you must change. And I'll give you a free 30-minute Sherlock Holmes track down of your Moriarty of a problem. You're tuned in to Success Coach Andy on Independent Talk 1100 KFNX.
In December of 2010, border agent Brian Terry was murdered by drug cartels while on patrol on the border. Brian Terry's sister, Kelly Terry Willis.
Brian died because of the Obama administration scandal known as Operation Fast and Furious. Brian was killed defending our border. Now, Arizona can elect a governor who will secure it, Doug Ducey. I trust Doug to secure the border and to stand with agents like Brian. The Obama administration failed my family. Doug Ducey will fight to protect yours.
The Obama administration failed Brian and continues to fail Arizona. As governor, Doug Ducey will use every available resource to secure the border: fencing, satellites, guardsmen, more police and prosecutors. And Doug will stand with agents like Brian Terry, who put their lives on the line each day to defend our country. Doug Ducey for governor. Paid for by Ducey 2014. DougDucey.com.
This station is the new home of the Blaze Radio News. Stories that other news outlets won't touch.
This is news
every hour. News
from the Blaze Radio Network.
The Blaze Radio Network. Truth lives here.
Hi, this is Ken from the right side of the trade. Let's have an adult conversation. Most people still have not achieved their financial goals. Have you? Learn how to get what you really want at one of Online Trading Academy's market timing workshops. We can teach you a proven method for trading any market like a pro. Call 480-634-2301. Mention the right side of the trade and get 2 free tickets to an upcoming market timing workshop. Call 480-634-2301 now.
Are you experiencing frustration or desperation and you don't know the way out? There is a solution. There is light beyond the tunnel. Start to live life on your terms, the way you've always wanted. Visit SuccessCoachAndy.com. SuccessCoachAndy.com. Change can happen in an instant. To learn more about Andy's seminars or for opportunities to have him as your personal coach, call 310-774-6691. That's 310-774-6691.
Are you a motorsports fan? A gearhead? Join me, national award-winning radio and television host Kurt Hansen, every Saturday right here at 2 p.m. for the greatest names in motorsports, from the Valley of the Sun to Formula One. It's Race Central, Saturdays at 2 p.m. See you there.
Tune in to the Edward Woodson Show with me, your host, Edward Woodson. We'll talk business, politics, and the things that really make you mad.
Catch the Edward Woodson Show weekdays from 5 to 6 a.m. only on Independent Talk, 1100 KFNX.
I'm a super fan.
Pop Culture Tonight,
where I go for the latest news on my favorite celebrities.
Hi, I'm Stephanie Lee Schlund from The Hunger Games.
I'm Susan Olsen from The Brady Bunch.
Pop Culture Tonight with Patrick Phillips is all things entertainment.
Innovative talk radio.
It's my
Welcome back to Success Coach Andy. I'm Andy Shepherd of Shepherd Success Coaching, here with you every Monday at 9 p.m. on Independent Talk 1100 KFNX. Tonight I'm talking about how to let go. Let's look at why making a change is a real must, okay? The downfall of not letting go is pretty much the opposite to what I talked about previously, giving you the reasons why you should. So if you don't, these are what's going to happen to you. So these are the 7 reasons you must change. Basically, if you don't change, you're just going to get more stress in your life, and you're just going to get more and more and more, and it's just going to get layered one on top of the other, and it's not going to go away. And remember, we're motivated by 2 things, either pain or pleasure. So I'm turning up the pain at the moment because, you know, as human beings, I know that we're motivated by pain and pleasure. So I've given you the pleasure part, the reasons why we should do them before the break, and now I'm telling you, I'm going to give you some motivation from pain. So the next thing is part 2, is that you've got a greater chance of serious diseases. And I'm sorry to tell you that. You know, basically, if you don't start letting go of stuff, you could have serious problems such as heart disease, heart problems, heart attacks, possibly even cancer. And, you know, you could have asthma attacks, you could have all sorts going on. Finally, if you're not letting go of stuff, you can gonna feel pretty miserable, aren't you? I mean, today's been interesting. I've had a couple of dear friends who are in this situation where they need to be letting go of stuff, and they're not happy chaps. So that is another thing, another reason. You'll probably have less friends as well, because let's face it, if you're miserable, who's going to want to be with you? It's, you know, you're not exactly going to start attracting everybody. You know, I mean, have you ever seen anybody say, hey, I'm a miserable person, come and talk to me? It's just not going to happen, is it? So we don't want to be doing that, do we? And the friends that you have may be stressed and miserable too, because you're going to influence them. Your stress and your misery is going to affect them, and they could be feeling the same. You don't want that, do you? For sure you don't. I mean, why would you want your friends and people that you love around you to be stressed out? You know, I talk about the 5-friend rule, that we are the average of the friends we spend most of our time with. So we've also got to think about, well, what are we imparting to the other person? So, you know, they deserve happiness. The 6th reason is you are not allowing new things to enter the vacuum of the old. And finally, this is the most important thing, that ultimately, if you're not letting go of things, not letting go of resentment, not letting go of things that are making you sad, that are upsetting you, that are, you know, really keeping you in a pretty bad place, the unfortunate ultimate possibility is that you could commit suicide. You know, you could just get everything on top of you and you just don't see any way out. You know, suicide is like an off button, and I really don't want that. You know, there's no reason for it. Things are always going to get better. And if you follow my advice and you know, and start letting go of things, then you don't need to go for that. You don't need to do that. And it's my mission that, you know, if I have the possibility of helping anybody out of that situation, I 100% will. Because life is a beautiful thing. And life always gets better. There's always bad things that happen, but tomorrow's another day. You have your lows and you have your highs. You know, sooner or later, things are going to pick up and get better. If you've just tuned in, you're listening to Success Coach Andy. I'm Andy Shepherd on Independent Talk 1100 KFNX. People call me the Sherlock Holmes of success coaching. Set me hot on the trail of your Moriarty of all problems, past or present, and free yourself from its peskiness forever. It will amaze you at how much I can track down in a free 30-minute session. That's right, especially for listeners on Independent Talk 1100 KFNX. I'm giving away a 30-minute session for free. Call me on 310-774-6691. That's 310-774-6691. Or email me on andy@successcoachandy.com. That's andy@successcoachandy.com, and book your free investigation today. Okay, so let me tell you a little bit more about the Sherlock Holmes of success coaching and the way that I solve the mysteries of whatever problems you have. I want to tell you how I track down your Moriarty of all problems. Now, like I said, I'm giving away a 30-minute consultation for free. That's right, no charge. So before I go any further, let me just say that there are kind of 3 possibilities at the moment. You know, you're listening to this and you're thinking to yourself, well, you know, Andy, yeah, definitely, I can see that you know what you're talking about. You've got a lot of knowledge there, a lot of technologies. I can really see that you are going to do a great job with me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to call you, and I'm sure your price is reasonable, so I just need to find out what that is, and let's get going. The second possibility is that, you know, you just have a few questions for me. You want to understand how it works and whether this is a fit for you. And maybe you just want to work out how the pricing is and how much investment you're going to make in this. So you can give me a call and or email me, and we can talk about that and work that out. The third possibility is that I'm just not the person for you. You don't agree with anything that I'm saying, and, you know, we're just not a fit. And that's okay. I'm sad about that because I really know that I have the tools to help, and I've helped so many people. I've made a big difference. I can phone somebody, and in 5-10 minutes I've got them back on track again. I've got them happy, and boom, they're rocking and rolling, going for the day. That's what I can do, and I would love to be able to do that for you as well. So the way that I work is that I'm basically, you know, there are things that are holding us back. So I look at that. I find out what is stopping you from moving forward, from going to where you want to be. And I lock into that, we work on it, and you're free from it. The next thing is that I work with accountability and goal setting. Yeah, I know goal setting is something you'd rather have your teeth pulled than do it, but it is the most important thing. The people who are successful, the people who are making millions, are the people who've got goal setting. So, that's something that we need to get locked away, and I'll help you with that. The other is that I have this way of getting you there really quickly. I've got special techniques on getting you there, and there is a way of attracting goals and things to you quickly. I'm going to do that for you. I am also the Sherlock Holmes of success coaching. So basically, Sherlock Holmes had got like a sixth sense to him. Things came to him. He got the answer. And this is the way that I work. This is the way that I am as well. So that's definitely something that I can help you with. And finally, the other thing that is really important is that I'm authentic. Basically, I've tried everything, everything that I've talked about, everything that I'm going to teach you, as things that I have tried out myself. I know they work. We've been talking about how to let go. Remember, letting go can give you more in your life. It creates a vacuum so that you can get more. Following my 6-step process helps you to let go of resentment. The most powerful step being seeing that the hurt you, this ego, doesn't really exist when you meditate on it. By contemplating the benefits and the downfalls, you will quickly get motivated to let go of anything you wish to. People call me the Sherlock Holmes of success coaching. Set me hot on the trail of your Moriarty of all problems, past or present, and free yourself from its peskiness forever. It will amaze you on how much I can track down in a free 30-minute session. That's right, especially for listeners on Independent Talk 1100 KFNX, I'm giving away a 30-minute session for free. Call me on 310-774-6691. That's 310-774-6691. Or email me on andy@successcoachandy.com. That's andy@successcoachandy.com, and book your free investigation today. I want to thank Braden for keeping the show running smoothly and for all of you for listening. I'm Andy Shepherd of Shepherd Success Coaching. Tune in next Monday at 9 p.m. for more Success Coaching Andy. Next week I'll be talking about from enemy to lifelong friend. It's up to you. You're listening to Independent Talk 1100 KFNX.
You're listening to Independent Talk.